Hey guys, let's get more news about Dallas, but first don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Bill Belichick, Dallas Cowboys bombshell revealed. The pressure might have just gotten even stronger on Dallas Cowboys head coach Mike McCarthy in 2024. McCarthy is entering his lame duck season, with an edict from Jerry Jones to advance beyond last season's 48-32 blowout loss to the Packers in the NFC wildcard, after winning the NFC East crown. While McCarthy is set to coach the final year of his contract with no guarantees beyond it, an April 17 bombshell report from ESPN's Seth Wickersham and Don Van Natta Jr. reveals that former New England Patriots six-time Super Bowl-winning head coach Bill Belichick would relish the opportunity to coach the Cowboys. He has told Confidence he would be interested in coaching the Dallas Cowboys, Philadelphia Eagles, and New York Giants, Wickersham and Van Natta wrote of Belichick. This offseason, before Jones announced that McCarthy would return to the Cowboys sideline this fall without a contract extension, there was speculation of various degrees of mutual interest between Belichick and Dallas. Belichick and Jerry Jones are decades-long friends, Van Natta and Wickersham point out. And both are in win-now mode. Nobody is better than Belichick at converting a talented roster into a championship team. Belichick told a friend that he liked the idea of sticking it to the crafts by working for Jones. But Jones, for all his flash, bluster, and vows this offseason to go all in, is change-averse when it comes to head coaches. He decided quickly after Dallas' blowout exit in the wild-card round to let Mike McCarthy coach the final year of his contract. Belichick and the New England Patriots mutually agreed to part ways 3 days after the Packers handed the Cowboys yet another disappointing postseason exit, but Jones ultimately committed to bring McCarthy back for at least one more year. However, Jones hasn't closed the door on eventually bringing Belichick to Dallas. "I know him personally and I like him," Jones told Yahoo Sports' Jory Epstein in January. "There's no doubt in my mind we could work together." None. Belichick was passed over for the Atlanta Falcons vacancy and spoke to the Washington Commanders, who hired former Cowboys defensive coordinator Dan Quinn, but ultimately wound up on the outside looking in for the 2024 season. Given that the Cowboys, Philadelphia Eagles with Nick Sirianni, and New York Giants with Brian Daboll all face varying degrees of coaching uncertainty beyond 2024, Belichick could have a legitimate chance of getting his wish of landing in the NFC East in 2025. The Cowboys have myriad needs as the 2024 NFL Draft approaches in late April, not the least of which is adding quality depth along the offensive line and potentially upgrading the linebacking core. However, given the lack of an every-down running back, even after signing Royce Freeman to a one-year deal, the Cowboys could look to make an immediate upgrade in the backfield early in this year's draft. That's exactly how Pro Football Focus April 15 mock draft projection plays out, with the Cowboys selecting University of Texas running back Jonathan Brooks in the second round, with the number 56 overall pick. Dallas gets the top back in the draft to fill its need, PFF Sam Monson wrote. Brooks is working back from a knee injury but could well be ready to roll at 100% by week 1. Brooks is looking to return to form from a torn ACL suffered last November, but has plenty of explosiveness as illustrated by his 6.1 yards per carry average on 187 rushing attempts for 1,139 yards and 10 touchdowns last season. Mixed shots, sleeves rolled up with draft nearing. The juggling act continues out here at the Star, now just a week away from the start of the 2024 NFL Draft on April 25, this year in Detroit. There still is a roster to prepare during the offseason, but at this point, that becomes less a priority to preparing for the draft, which the Cowboys are in full speed ahead mode preparing their big board with 8 days to go before they go on the clock at number 24 next Thursday. With that in mind, let Cowboys COO Stephen Jones give you some perspective on just how the Cowboys have been managing their salary cap a month into free agency amid much criticism for not spending salary cap money they, by the way, just don't have in abundance. and the NFL doesn't allow use of league credit cards. We spend max money year in and year out, Jones tried to explain earlier in the week on Cowboys radio flagship station 105.3 The Fan. All 32 teams can only spend the same amount of money over a 5-year stretch. When we're all said and done, we max out our salary cap every year. We will have done that, and what comes with having a good roster, which we do, we also are looking towards signing our own guys. It doesn't mean it happens overnight. But when you're wanting to sign players like Dak, Prescott, and Micah, Parsons, and CeeDee Lamb, then certainly you have to hold money back if you want to have a realistic chance of signing those guys. So if you've been scoring at home, the Cowboys have either lost, released, or haven't re-signed a total of 11 significant players off last year's roster, re-signed the likes of Jordan Lewis, Chuma Edoga, Rico Dowdle, C.J. Goodwin, and Trent Sieg, and signed 2 unrestricted free agents from other teams, linebacker Eric Kendricks, and this week veteran mostly backup running back Royce Freeman. Nothing earth-shattering when compared to losing the likes of starters Tyron Smith, Tyler Biadasz, Tony Pollard, Jonathan Hankins, Dorrance Armstrong, then Leighton Vander Esch retiring after being released, failed physical, Michael Gallup designated a June 1st release for cap-saving purposes, and waiting to see what happens with rehabbing starting cornerback Stephon Gilmore, shoulder surgery. And also emphasizing there is no such thing as not being all in around here, because if you're not all in, you're all out. Meaning, you can only take expensive shots during the offseason if you have enough cap ammo. Jordan Travis draws comparison to Dallas Cowboys' Dak Prescott ahead of NFL Draft. The 2024 NFL Draft is on the horizon. Of those expecting to hear their name called of the course of the 3-day event is former Florida State quarterback Jordan Travis. The former Seminole, despite suffering a season-ending injury late in his 2023 campaign, is drawing a strong comparison ahead of the draft. ESPN connected with different scouts, those watching draft prospects closer than anyone else, around the NFL to draw comparisons between prospects and those currently in the league. The quarterbacks, of course, were separated into tiers, which left Travis in the 5th tier. In the piece, ESPN listed Travis' most frequent comparison to Cleveland Browns backup quarterback Tyler Huntley. One comparison Travis got, though, was to Dallas Cowboys starting quarterback Dak Prescott. He reminds me a little bit of Dak Prescott coming out of Mississippi State. Dak wasn't a refined passer at the time, but he got the job done and was a gamer. This kid has some of that to him, a source told ESPN's Jeremy Fowler. Essentially, Travis is a raw prospect needing to get into the right system to both develop his game as a passer and get the opportunity to show his ability to win games. He led the Seminoles to a 10-3 record in the 2022 college football season and topped that by going 11-0 while healthy last year. Travis helped lead a turnaround in Tallahassee by willing Florida State to big wins. Relatively small frame with a wonky windup but a good release on the ball, he's got a shot, an AFC personnel evaluator said to ESPN. What Travis needs is the right opportunity. He spent 6 years in college football, 5 of those in Garnet and Gold. Like Prescott with the Cowboys, landing at a team with the right fit is what Travis needs heading into the NFL fresh off a season-ending injury. And you, fan, what do you think of the situation of Jordan Travis? Leave your opinion in the comments.